everyone, and welcome to today's DataVox webinar, The Power of Analytics, How to Protect Your Business When You Return to Work, presented by Panasonic. My name is Jessica, and I will be your moderator today. We are broadcasting this webinar through Cisco WebEx events, and the audio can be heard through your PC or by calling into the phone number listed and with the access code provided in your confirmation email or calendar invite for this event. Today's webinar is being recorded on behalf of DataVox, and participation in this event indicates your consent to being included in that recording. All attendees will receive an email with a link to the completed recording 24 to 48 hours post-event. If you have questions for the presenters at any time during this presentation, you may submit those questions via the Q&A feature to the bottom right of your screen. This should already be turned on. Simply click Q&A and the text box will appear. Our panel will be responding to these questions throughout the presentation via text and verbally at the conclusion of the presentation. If you are in need of support or have a question not pertaining to today's topic, please utilize the chat feature and I will be happy to assist you. This feature is separate from the Q&A feature and can be turned on by clicking the chat bubble in the lower center of your screen. Now that we have reviewed the features of today's webinar, we would like to start off today's presentation with a few words from our Director of Physical Security, Scott Ferguson. Scott, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jessica. Thanks for the wonderful job you've been doing putting all these together. We all really appreciate it. Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Scott Ferguson, and I'm the Director of Physical Security here at DataVox. I want to take the time to personally thank you this morning for attending this webinar and also all the other webinars that we've had. Today's webinar is with Panasonic, and we've got Trey with us, who is the Regional Sales Manager for South Texas. At the end of the meeting, like Jessica said, we'll have a 15-minute question and answer. So please put your chats in the Q&A section, and Trey and I will both answer them towards the end of the webinar. With that being said, we also, for those who have been attending or haven't been attending some of our webinar series, we've been discussing a lot of return to work strategies with our customers. Some of those include contactless thermal imaging or temperature scanners, people counting, air quality sensors. I can discuss a little bit more towards the end of the meeting, but if you would like a private session or to learn more, please reach out to us and we'll get with you guys. Trey, you ready? Over to you, buddy.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for showing and attending. We really appreciate it. As Scott said, this is Trey Heisel. I am the Regional Sales Manager, and I am excited to present the future of video surveillance. And the topic today is going to be analytics. So I look forward to showing you this video. It is a pre-recorded video due to the coronavirus difficulties with our office being closed. So like we ask, we will hold a Q&A session after the video commences. So please come up with as many questions as you can so that we can answer them. But I'm very excited to present some of this information to you so that we can keep your schools, your businesses as safe as possible when you guys continue and get back to the normal day-to-day, which I know for me, I'm looking forward to it being done very quickly. So with that, we will start and dive into our presentation.
So today, I'd like to speak to you all about one major factor that's changing not only the security industry, but really the world. That is video analytics. Now, before I get started on my main topics dealing with our FACEPRO vehicle search and IVMD analytics solutions, I'd just like to go over a few figures which should better illustrate the importance and really the prevalence of video analytics in our industry and moreover our society, and why video and analytics go hand in hand. Now, let me start by saying that these facts don't directly apply to the security industry. However, I strongly believe that their results will certainly influence what it is that we do here. Firstly is the fact that as of 2020, over 500 hours of video are uploaded to sites like YouTube every minute. That's countless terabytes of raw video being stored and provided to billions around the world. Next is an estimate by Cisco, which states that by 2022, 82% of all IP traffic on the net and private networks will be IP video related. Why this is important is because the sheer amount of data is beyond the capacity of human beings to manually review, process, and act upon in a timely manner. That's why more and more analytics are being developed and used to do tasks such as ID events, people, search for content, and even make real-time decisions, which literally prevent individuals from losing their lives. And this is happening today, right now, all across the world. Now, if you don't believe me, just look at how this Tesla's autopilot system works. As you can see, here's an automobile that's being driven in real time purely by video analytics, avoiding pedestrians, responding and reacting to ever-changing conditions on the road. And it's my belief that the security industry will be no different, changing from a reactionary, collection-minded approach to a more active solution which can prevent security incidents from happening to begin with, placing prevention over evidence. And that's why today we're here to talk about 3 such platforms you can provide to your clients or use on your own sites, which will do just that. These being FACEPRO, our revolutionary facial recognition solution, our advanced vehicle search platform, and finally, our edge-based analytics suites found on our iPro Extreme camera line, known as IVMD. For each of these solutions, we'll go over the same subtopics, defining what they are, how they work, and provide everyone here an example of them in action. Now, with that out of the way, let's look at our first platform, that being FACEPRO. So, what is FACEPRO? Well, FACEPRO is our advanced facial recognition platform with deep learning technology built right in. Now, we'll get into what is needed to run FACEPRO a little later. However, once it's configured, FACEPRO can achieve a number of amazing tasks. Firstly, it can actively monitor all the faces which come into the view of the cameras tied into its servers and compare them in real time to a database consisting of 30,000 faces. It does this by doing the following. As an individual's face comes into view, our iPro Extreme cameras use an analytic known as Best Shot to quickly go through and select only the clearest picture of the individual, grabbing a small thumbnail of the subject and sending it through the network to be compared to the database. And since the iPro camera is extremely selective with the single frame it uses for the comparison, the overall network bandwidth is kept extremely low. Now, what's amazing about this is the fact that FACEPRO can actually still make highly accurate matches of an individual, even if their faces are captured at deep angles, such as from the side or from up top. Also, FACEPRO can still make matches even if the individual's face is partially hidden behind a surgical mask, sunglasses, or even if the subject's appearance has changed due to aging. And no worries, I'll have good examples of each of these statements later in my presentation, which I hope you all find enjoyable. Lastly, in our efforts to continually update FACEPRO, as of a few months ago, FACEPRO is now able to provide alerts if it sees a person that's not registered in the database, meaning based on your client or your needs, the platform can, for example, be configured to alert the user if a random individual, for instance, comes into a very secure location which only certain employees are meant to be in. And for all of these reasons, the FACEPRO platform was evaluated by the National Institute of Standards and Technologies and was determined to be the world's highest rated facial recognition engine. Also, I believe it's important to point out that during a time when the world's becoming more aware and even more concerned about the potential misuse of such technologies, that FACEPRO achieves all of this accuracy by taking no account for an individual's skin color or race. Instead, it achieves its matches only by leveraging pure mathematics through a predictive algorithm, all applied to an individual's face. And since we're on the topic relating to privacy concerns, new laws, and legislations which surrounds this technology, let's quickly look at what we've done to safeguard not only FACEPRO, but its users as well. First and foremost, FACEPRO is one of the few platforms that fully complies with the EU's strict GDPR regulatory guidelines. Now, if you're not familiar with GDPR, it's a regulatory law that aims to safeguard the EU citizens' privacy rights from just such technology. And it was enacted in May of 2018. So what does this mean for FACEPRO, and why does it matter for us here in the USA? Well, mainly because many aspects of GDPR are already being adopted in part in states such as California, Massachusetts, and even Illinois. So again, what does this mean directly for FACEPRO? Well, let's break that down into two parts. One regarding hardware communication and the other regarding the software itself. So let me start by saying that we take cybersecurity just as seriously as physical security. That's why every outbound and inbound communication occurring from camera to server, server to client, and even master server to base server employs what's known as SSL encryption or secure socket layer communication, making sure that critical data sent and received into the ecosystem is secure. Next, on the software side, we make sure that all face data collected itself is fully encrypted, meaning on the off chance that anyone manages to gain unauthorized access to the server, the database and the photos would be completely useless to them. Beyond that, the user can even set their attention times of how long registered faces can stay on the system. So, for example, if a user wants an entry to be valid only for 30 days, on the 31st day, the registered faces and the entries will be deleted. Furthermore, we ensure that retention logs of all operations on the system are kept, meaning you will know at all times who and how FACEPRO is being utilized. Finally, if a user only wants live pop-up alerts, say when a person of interest is on their site, FACEPRO can be set to never retain any new thumbnails in its database after a match or mismatch is made, ensuring everyone's privacy rights are kept while still working to prevent the security events from happening in real time. So now that I've covered FACEPRO's functionality a bit, let's quickly look over what's needed to actually deploy the FACEPRO platform itself. But let me start by saying that you actually do have a few more options of deployment, but for right now, let's look at the two main methods of deploying FACEPRO. The first option to FACEPRO deployment would be to utilize one of our server bundles, which come preloaded with the FACEPRO server software and 4 channel licenses. Also, I just want to point out that these servers can handle 20 maximum channels at once. Beyond the server and the server software, you will also need to use iPro cameras, which support the best shot analytic. Now, you may wonder why we keep the camera requirements limited to only our iPro Extreme cameras for FACEPRO when competing platforms have a much more open requirement. Well, simply put, we do this to ensure the best possible accuracy, and in order for us to do this, we have to ensure that we know the camera hardware providing the data to the servers as intimately as possible. Finally, beyond the additional channel licenses, you will need to have a client plugin license, which is the same part number whether you're using our ASM 300 platform, Video Insight, Genetec, or Milestone. Moving to your second deployment option, it's essentially the same as the first, except instead of getting the server from us, you will need to find a compatible server of your choosing that meets our factory's guidelines. And you will also have to separately acquire the FACEPRO server license, which again will be bundled with the 4 channel licenses. Okay, now that I've bored everyone to death with part numbers, let's actually get into the fun part with some FACEPRO accuracy demonstrations, which I've done using myself, since I'm pretty much the human equivalent of Mr. Potato Head, and I have the perfect blank canvas for disguises. Now, for the following tests, I would like you to keep in mind that I've only registered 1 photo of myself into the server, and that FACEPRO's platform makes the matches sooner than it generates the pop-up images that you'll see here on the screen. So, with this in mind, please just keep your eyes peeled on these 2 sections of the screen, which for the first test I've made a bit easier for you all to see by only showing you the camera feed and the pop-up box by the side, which confirms the matches. So the first shot is just me, and FACEPRO matches me very quickly. Adding a hat is really not an issue for FACEPRO, as you can see, as it matches me again. Even my luscious hairstyle is no match for FACEPRO's power. However, I add some sunglasses with the hair, and nope, I still get matched. Now, adding a hat with all of that on, still not a match for FACEPRO, as I get matched again. Finally, I grow my thick beard, but alas, it's no match for FACEPRO either. Yet, beyond live alerts like this here, the true power of FACEPRO is the ability to find a needle in a haystack. This is the platform's ability to actually do a face search through all of its recorded data on the system and find a person of interest in seconds. Here's an example of that and what it looks like. As you can see, as I just used my base image, FACEPRO quickly finds all of my disguises, and from here, I as a user can select the exact one match that interests me, play back, and even clip using the timelines right here. So again, beyond prevention, these time-saving elements are another power that these video analytics have and can provide to their users. So as you can see, FACEPRO is extremely accurate when it comes to disguises or fashion changes that do not cover a target's face 100%. However, as you recall, I stated FACEPRO can account for aging. And to really demonstrate that claim, I decided to do a test kind of in reverse with my friend Tiger here by adding over 40 years of aging to his appearance using a third-party app. Then taking this aged image, and only this aged image, I registered Tiger into FACEPRO and saw if the system would match him to his younger self. Let's take a look at that. Looking here, you can see that this is the only picture of Tiger that we registered into FACEPRO. And honestly, Tiger was not so sure that this test would work whatsoever. However, as you all can see now, it did, and it left Tiger a bit surprised. Just to make sure, Tiger wanted to try one more time with sunglasses, and again, it worked like a charm, matching him to his future self. So this is the power of FACEPRO. And if you want the same kind of power in the palm of your hand, we produce an optional mobile app for FACEPRO, which we developed on the request of one of our partners in the assisted living space for both the Apple and Android mobile devices, known as FACEALERT. FACEALERT provides you access to all your alerts, your face match logs, and even allows you to register new users into the system via the mobile device's own camera hardware, as you see here. And also, once the app is installed, it can provide the user with the same real-time face match or mismatch notifications, just as if they were receiving text message on the device. So in essence, with FACEALERT, you can take the power of FACEPRO with you no matter where you may be. Also, if you want a quick and easy way to see FACEPRO for yourself in real time, we have 3 remote FACEPRO servers ready for you to book demonstrations on. So again, if you'd like to access these systems, please ask your ISR, TAM, or System Solutions team member, and they will assist you. Okay, with that, let's now shift gears to our vehicle search platform. So you might be wondering, what is vehicle search? Well, it's pretty much in the platform's name. The vehicle search platform is an advanced vehicle detection, search, and location engine which can be used to massively shorten investigation times by quickly searching through terabytes of recorded video in seconds, helping to identify a vehicle via its type, color, and even its location. It can quickly find a vehicle and even determine the direction of its path, and when the user is ready to deliver his or her findings, the vehicle search platform can even produce reports based on all the information it's gathered into either a PDF or email format ready to be delivered. So from our own research with vehicle search, the manual process of finding a vehicle through a full day's recording can take an individual reviewer up to 8 hours on average. But with the vehicle search solution, the same process takes just an average of 15 minutes for a user to complete. Not only does this clearly save time and effort, however, more importantly, it makes a massive video archive into something that's usable and essentially searchable. And again, the video search analytic does this by allowing the user to choose any combination of up to 6 vehicle types, 10 colors, 16 directional types, while utilizing up to 20 channels per its vehicle search server. And as such, cameras like our 4x4K multi-sensor domes are really made for this type of application because, as you can see here, just one camera can cover an entire intersection. But also cameras such as the X8570N here give you another advantage with this platform, as it can configure 2 of its streams to just 1 channel, meaning 4 images are now just 2 channels, allowing you to increase your coverage while lowering your channel usage at the same time. Essentially, you're getting up to 40 channels instead of the maximum 20. So just what do you need to get Vehicle Search platform up and running? Well, currently you will need to have a Vehicle Search server license, which comes bundled with 4 channel licenses like our FACEPRO platform, the compatible server that meets the factory guidelines, any additional needed channel licenses, and a client license. So let's quickly look at what Vehicle Search looks like in action. As you can see, Vehicle Search allows its users to start a case by selecting the start and end times of a search event. Then he or she selects the location to search for an event based on the user's camera placement, moving on to pick any number of 6 vehicle types and any number of 10 color types, then clicking search. As you can see here, the platform finds all matching vehicles. From here, a user can then mark any one of these vehicles for further review, selecting it for playback to confirm the vehicle's details, and even clip the event right here if they so want. Finally, once the user is satisfied with their findings, he or she can then generate that full report I talked about earlier, which can be saved or emailed out with their notes intact, including the vehicle's last travel directions during the event in question. And just like FACEPRO, Vehicle Search can be an added solution for Video Insight, Panasonic's ASM 300, and the Genetec VMS platform, adding its powerful analytics search functionalities to those solutions. Finally today, since I'm talking about analytics, I'd like to finish my presentation by going through our IVMD, or Intelligent Video Motion Detection Analytics, that live on our iPro Extreme camera hardware. These analytics constitute of line cross detection, wrong way directional detection, intrusion detection, loitering detection, object left behind and object taken, and even heat mapping on our 4K fisheye cameras. Using these analytics, a user can set unique rules and reactions that go beyond just regular motion detection, meaning you can make your systems more capable to respond to an event as they happen if you utilize IVM. And I'm happy to say, as of late 2019, all of these analytics and more are available bundled right in to compatible iPro Extreme cameras at no extra cost. So please start using them now to expand the overall awareness of your site. Alright, with that, I've reached the end of my presentation. I really hope I did a good job showing you all why video and analytics can work so well together today. So at this point, I'd like to open.
So thank you guys for watching the presentation. I would like to open the floor to any questions that you guys have, discussions on the topics, and just kind of see where this goes to get all of your questions answered in a manner.
Thanks, Trey. This is Scott again. I'll be the one fielding the questions and filtering them down to you, Trey. You're the subject matter expert with the manufacturer. So we had first one was on FACEPRO. How do we best utilize this solution, meaning facial recognition, to keep our office safe?
So the FACEPRO software, you are able to build a database of faces that are whitelist, blacklist, people who are allowed in the building, and you can also set a list of people who are not allowed in the building. So let's say that an employee is fired, she's upset, he's upset, threats are made. So you can set up that face in the database to send notifications to you if that person is seen on the premises with any FACEPRO camera. So what this turns your video surveillance system into is a reactionary type of deployment. So you can take action before an event happens versus what a standard video surveillance solution might provide. Also, with our mobile app that you have, you don't always have to be up front and center watching your entryways and exit points. So if you're a school district and have a security resource officer, or you're an office building and also have a security resource officer, this will allow them to do their normal rounds in the building, and if a face is triggered, he will get it immediately on his mobile phone. That way he can go and react to that type of person. Or wherever that location may be, it'll pop up, you'll see the face, you'll see the camera, and that way you can go ahead and head to that location. So it just allows you to not only be proactive in looking for the bad people that might be around, but it also can help with the day-to-day, after the fact. Let's say an incident does happen, just being able to look through all that video very quickly. If you know somebody's face, you can enter that into the database and you have all the thumbnails right there. So it takes less attention, less time out of your day to be able to search for those important events. So you can focus your attention elsewhere.
Thank you for that, Trey. You know, this question kind of reminds me of, you know, when license plate recognition first came out. It was such a new technology, and people were really, you know, trying to understand, how do I use license plate recognition? And so I kind of think of FACEPRO as a license plate recognition, but for your face. It's got a database. It keeps all the data, all the faces that come through your facility, flagging them. You know, I'm kind of glad that this is becoming normal in our business, rather than something that was just, you know, brand new and people were trying to figure out how to use it. So fun technology for sure. Another question we have is, see if I phrase this right. I think you've already touched on this, Trey, but I think we should probably get through all the questions here. Do we have to build our own database, or does it pull faces from a national database?
So the database is built by the customer. You can pull information from other databases and import it into your FACEPRO database, but it is not going to be an automatic process. The reason we didn't want to have it be an automatic process is we wanted FACEPRO to be custom to each site and each customer, so they can build their own database that fits their best needs. So it is something that you can either take pictures via the FACEPRO app. Every face that walks by the camera, it will capture a snapshot, and you can save it to the database. So we make it very easy to update it, just so it can be custom to your actual location, what fits your needs.
Thanks, Trey. Can you use your existing cameras with FACEPRO?
Yes, if you have existing Panasonic iPro cameras, you can absolutely use them with FACEPRO because they do have the best shot analytic. Really, one of the most important things, like Sean said, with FACEPRO is that best shot analytic. The National Institute of Security Technologies, that study that they did, we were successful in capturing faces and making matches at a 99% clip, and that has to do with that best shot analytic.
All right, thank you. Can this be virtualized? And I'm guessing this means can the analytics, the software, the FACEPRO, license plate recognition, can that go in a virtual environment?
It can go into a virtual environment, absolutely. Some of our larger FACEPRO deployments is deployed that way. Just makes it easier to manage.
Thanks, Trey. I think you answered that better than I would have. I think I would have just said yes. So, what about, you've already covered this too, but what about proactive alerts?
So, absolutely. The tie-in that FACEPRO has with Video Insight, you can set up rules in the Rules Manager. So if a FACEPRO event happens, you can choose anywhere from 1 to 30 different actions that can take place. Send an email to a user, a group of users. You can push live video to a desktop. And then, of course, you get your alerts on your mobile phone as well through the app. So it's just the big idea with FACEPRO is allowing you to get those notifications so you can react in a timely manner.
All right, gracias. The very little Spanish that I know. Let's see. Can the FACEPRO software also recognize people and alert on an unfamiliar face? I think you covered that, Trey, but I just want to post that out there. Here, this is one about analytics. What is the most popular on-camera analytic?
So I see a lot of the loitering analytic being used. So if a person is detected just walking around in the same area, the camera will alert, and you can set up the same notifications that you can through our Rules Manager to send out notifications. So I see that quite often. And then line cross detection as well, and people counting are going to be the top 3. So just being able to make sure an area doesn't fill up past capacity, I see that quite a bit, or an area that someone's not allowed into. If someone crosses that line, you can be notified that a person is in that unsafe zone.
Got it. Thank you, Trey. I think we're coming down to the end of this too, so we only have a couple more questions left. Where would I place a LPR camera and why? And I think of this in a couple different scenarios. One, it can be simplistic as opening up a gate, right? You have it mounted, it captures a rear license plate, or front if you have one. It can trigger an alert on your access control system, and it can open a gate. Something simple as that. What do you think, Trey?
Absolutely. Parking garages, areas where Let's say I see it in school districts where seniors are allowed to park, so you don't have to have a parking attendant. You can drive up, have a database full of blacklist, whitelists, and open up triggers. So anything to do with parking, we will see that with the LPR. Entryways and exit points as well, in outside stadium type deployments, malls, really anywhere there's parking is where we find that LPR being used very frequently.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I think that's it for questions. Hey guys, so I really hope you enjoyed these webinars, and especially this one. We're trying to help our customers get back to work more safely, more securely, easier. And a lot of these applications, a lot of the software, cameras that we're helping with is really trying to help with that. So, having as less people are going back to work, there's potentially more crime, so we're trying to help prevent that. There's other ways to eliminate a security guard if you have that cost currently. We're talking about thermal imaging, scanning, temperature sensors, people counting, so that you understand how many people you have in your facility at a certain time. Whether you have a 25% occupancy limit or a 50%, right now in some counties we're trying to stay at that 25% range. Indoor air quality, improving the quality of your air in your facility, right? Making it a safer environment for your employees. Hands-free visitor management. Some of our customers no longer have a receptionist at the front, so how do they get in contact with people inside the office, with how do the visitors get in contact with them? So we have some solutions for that. If you'd like to learn more about Panasonic, anything else we do here at DataVox, please reach out to us. We would love to help, whether it's a private demo session, whether it's a short webinar or a video phone conversation. We can definitely help. So just on behalf of DataVox, we want to thank you guys for attending this webinar, also the other ones. Hope you guys continue to attend and receive live updates with DataVox. With that being said, I'll hand it over to you, Jessica, who will close us out for the morning.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, we want to thank all of you for joining today's webinar. As a reminder, the recording link for today's session will be emailed to all attendees 24 to 48 hours post-event. If you did enjoy today's session and would like to hear more, as Scott said, we do offer new webinars weekly. Please check our DataVox website for more information on upcoming sessions. And as always, we would love to hear your feedback on our events. Once this webinar has ended, you will be redirected to a survey page. If you could please take a moment to complete the survey before closing out your browser, we would greatly appreciate it. That concludes our session for today. Thank you again to Trey and Panasonic for a great presentation, and thank you all for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.